Hi, I'm Gibaud, Gibaud.com, and today I'm in Madrid teaching photography. So I contacted Fotocacion.es to know if they could lend me this camera, the Sony a6600 with the lens 18 to 105 f4, so I could present it on my channel. So let's start. So I am sitting in the Central Park, Madrid Central Park, called El Retiro. It's not exactly the same as Central Park, but this is a park in the central area, okay? So it's a bit noisy, you have people walking around, dogs barking, people working. Well, that's a joy of live video. Well, I'm not in live video. Well, it doesn't matter, as if it was, okay? So I asked Fotocacion if they could lend me the camera. When I go to Madrid, I always go and say hi to them. So I thank them very much, so we can speak about this camera. Okay, so I made some pictures and a video to test to give my honest impression. So let's carry on. I am going to show you some pictures I've made during the test. Some of them during the video I'll show you, and at the end I will put every photo I've made. So I already tested, reviewed some of this 6000 line of Sony, the a6000, a6100, the 6400, and I missed this top of the range 6600. So the main difference between this one and the lower or more affordable cameras in this series is that this one has a full metal body, and also that it's stabilized. There is an IBIS. Okay, so I'm going to get into more details and give you my impressions. As you may know, all the A6000 series by Sony is an APS-C sensor format with this one 24.2 megapixel, and it's a mirrorless camera with an E mount. Okay, you have 14 bits color depth, and you have anti-dust, and very important, an IBIS. So this is a big difference, the IBIS with other A6000. Okay, the 6500 had an IBIS, but I've not tested it, okay, so I cannot speak about it. If we look at the ISO, well, I could not test the low light. I got the camera just for some hours, so I could test, but not at night. I could not have it at night. So for what I've read, the ISO are really similar to the 6400, so you can check my video. So I think that should be fine, okay? It goes from native 100 up to 32,000 ISO, and you can force it to 50, and then you can force it upward to 100,400 ISO. Well, big good news, fantastic news is if we speak about the battery. The battery is not the same as the rest of the A6000 series. It is a battery that is the same as the A7. Okay, so it means you can get from 720 up to 810 pictures, depending if you use the live, the viewfinder, or I would say the live view, but mirrorless, they're all live view. Okay, so or the viewfinder or the screen. Okay, if you use the LCD screen, surprisingly, it uses less battery. Okay, so it lasts for longer. And if we look at video, if you use the viewfinder, it's 150 minutes recording video, or if you use the screen, 250 minutes. So I think battery life is fantastic for being mirrorless. To get that many is not really usual, so congratulations to Sony for that. If we look at the screen, this is a 3-inch screen here. This is a format 16:9, and you can flip it this way, this way, this way, and if you go vlogging, you just put it this way, like this, okay? And take care that if you put a microphone, obviously you won't see anything on the screen, so it would be logical in this case to put a cage and have the microphone sideways. Okay, so some vlogging tests. The microphone sound, well, is the sound directly from the camera, the microphone camera. I'm on 18mm, and walking this way, I can hold it with the grip. I think it's not as stable if I do it this way. I think it's more stable if I hold the lens and the body at the same time right now. Okay, I don't know what you think. Gives you an idea of stabilization. Okay, this is a really nice layout of button. You have several ones you can actually set as you want, and the access is nice. Here you have your aperture. Here your speed, can actually change it. The real typical MSAP. Okay, here you have button, you can function button, you can configure as you want. You have here also, you have several buttons like this. You have like 4 or 5 buttons you can actually change as you want, okay? And I think the grip is really nice. Maybe people with big fingers, if this is a big lens like this, I'll have maybe problem putting the finger in there. For me, that's fine. I really love this format, this size. I prefer it a lot more than the A7 series, okay, for my taste. And I must say, the feel is fantastic. This is metal. It looks a lot more solid. It feels a lot more solid than the a6400 or the a6100 that looks a lot more plasticky. Okay, this one is really a nice magnesium body. Okay, I think it's magnesium. Okay, but it's metal body. I love it. Okay, really nice. Although this is top of the range APS-C camera for Sony, you still have things like color profile or image filters and things like this. So people who want to play with that, they can. Okay. Now let's speak about video. So before going any further, you can check this video here explaining why you don't get all the speed you want, the frame rate you want on Sony cameras. Because it depends if you use in NTSC or in PAL. Depending on what you pick, you will be able to see some speed or not. It doesn't happen in every brand, but some brands do this and Sony does that. So it means if you're in 4K, in NTSC you will have 30 and 24 frames per second, and if you're in PAL you get 25 frames per second. So this is why if you're an NTSC and you cannot find 25, you should switch to PAL and the other way around, okay? And if we look at full HD, you get 120, 60, 30 and 24 frames per second in NTSC, and you get 150 and 25 in PAL, okay? So this is the reason you don't get it if you don't see it, okay? And one thing, if we speak about video, we're going to speak also about IBIS stabilization. So I'll show you a video I made. I walked. So testing the IBIS, I'm walking very normal, not the CX way of walking. And it gives you an idea. Here's my gear, my recording gear, okay? So I walk around, and it gives you an idea of the stabilization, if it's good or not. I'm not taking really care of how I walk, okay? And I think the results are really okay. I could not compare with my Olympus because I don't have my Olympus with me, but it looks really okay to me. That's fine, really acceptable. I think that's justified probably the money for many people who don't want to use a gimbal and they want to walk with a camera and record. So I think that's fine, okay? And regarding video also, this version of the camera has the log profile. So if you want to colorize your video, your rush in post-production, you can. I think the A6400 also allows you to get the log profile. I know the 6100 doesn't have it, so that would justify to go for the 6400. But this one, you also have the stabilization. If we speak about connectivity here, you get microphone and headphone connector. You also get micro HDMI and also what it looks like a micro USB, not a USB-C. I'm not sure, Mr. Sony, I don't know why I don't see any USB-C, okay? But you also have NFC if you want to connect. You know this system that if you have an NFC smartphone, you can stick it next to it or next here and you will transfer the file, okay? I never used that. I don't on my iPhone now you don't have that, but when I had Samsung I could do it. I never used it, okay? So but it's there for people who want to use it. So connectivity is fine. You also have Wi-Fi obviously and Bluetooth. If we speak about reactivity, I think it is really fast. When you switch on, it's ready straight away, and the autofocus is fast to what I saw, okay? This is a phase detection autofocus with 425 points. I think it's enough for me. Some people want thousands, but for me this one is fine. You have also a face detection, okay? Eye detection, obviously. As obviously for a Sony user, that's very obvious to them, but for some other people it's not that obvious, okay? But you do have that, it works really fine. You can do time lapse up to 9,999 pictures. That gives for some serious time lapse. I think that's okay. If we speak at speed, it goes from 30 seconds up to 1/4000th of a second. Mechanical shutter, I think that's okay. That's enough. Then you have the flash synchro, 1 1/160th of a second. I think that's too little. I prefer to have 250th of a second. My taste, okay, that's okay. But if we speak about flash, same as many higher end cameras, you have no flash in here, no integrated flash, okay? Though you do have a hot shoe here, but beware, this is a Sony hot shoe. Even if you see a central contact, actually you need a proper Sony compatible flash. So if you buy Godox or whatever, get the one that get the S after, okay? So otherwise it will not work. Even if it's full manual, I'm not sure it will work, okay? Because the way it's built is different, okay? It's not just a central contact connector matter, it's everything. The weight, 504 grams, I think that's fine. Here I've got a large lens, okay, but the body is not really heavy, although it's metal. I think it's really nice. So let's speak about a bit about this lens. Well, I don't like 18 to 105 lenses or 18 to 200, 18 to 300. If you have too much focal length into one zoom, I think you lose a bit of quality. But this is a good quality one. Actually, you get f4, minimum f4 at all focal length, and that's okay. What I'm not convinced about is the way the zoom is working. This is an electric zoom. It means you can press this button here and move this way. And to me, although you move this way, it looks like to be an electric zoom, okay? It means that it's not as precise, it's a bit slow. I'm not convinced about that. I prefer a mechanical zoom. But I know that for many people who want to do video, they prefer to have an electric zoom because it's smoother when you actually zoom in, zoom out, than if you do with your hand, and you may go a bit faster, a bit slower, and it's not as smooth when you do it. So it never reigns to the taste of everyone, okay? So I think that's okay, but I would prefer mechanical zoom for my taste, okay? So who is this camera for? Why buy a 6600 and not the 6400 or the 6100? Well, if you want to do video and you want to colorize your video after in post-production, logically you should get 6400 or 6600 because both have log profiles. And this one gives you the extra of the IBIS, which is really useful if you want to. If you don't want to carry a gimbal, if you move when you're making video and you're not on a tripod, okay. So that's a big plus. But more than that, the build of this camera is a lot better. The battery life is a lot longer. So I think that for serious use, this is a big plus. It's more quality, and it's also better. It's a better camera. The way you look at, maybe not the image quality, maybe not the video quality, but the camera itself is a better camera for sure, okay? Obviously it's more expensive, so I think for advanced amateurs or for professional, this is a fantastic camera, and it would maybe probably compare to the the Fujifilm X-T4 probably, okay? So I think this camera is completely recommendable. I really love the a6600 series by Sony. I prefer it over the A7, my taste, okay? But this is nice, you have it in your hand, and it feels really great, really nice, okay? Buttons are well placed. Maybe this record button is not as well placed if you want to record like this, but many people will do it vlogging. So in this case, yeah, it goes just under your index here, and you can actually start recording, so that's nice. So yes, I must say, I think this camera is recommendable. Explain for who it is recommendable. Not that the 6400 or the 6100 is not as good, but I think this one is a high level, better built, and the stabilization for me is a big plus, okay? So thank you very much, Photocassion.s, for lending me the camera. Thank you very much to you for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a small button down here, a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. Also leave you links of my on Amazon, links to other part of my YouTube channel, links to everything I've reviewed by K&F Concept and Sandmark, and a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much, please take care of yourself, and speak to you soon. Bye!